everyone, this is Rio on Paper. I hope you're having a good summer so far. It feels like ages since I've last talked to you, since I've last recorded a video. That's because I tried to work ahead for a bit, because for the past 1.5 weeks, my partner and I had some time off to just go out, explore, do some fun things before I start my new job next week. So it's time to get back into making some videos, and what better way to do that than with a July flip through of what I've been using and what may be sort of a planner piece era for now. We'll see about that, but it's going great. So where do we start? Let's get this big boy out of the way. I've been writing in my 5-year TED show every day for July as well. It's been a bit of a challenge because, not so much a challenge to actually do it, but more to, I'm very good with routines. So when my days look more or less the same, I'm very good at just doing the things I want to do every day. However, when my routine changes, or when, for example, for the past 1.5 weeks, we had time off. So we've been also doing day trips. And then when we wake up, do our morning stuff, and then leave the house for a fun day trip, I tend to forget sort of to journal and to use my planners, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I usually don't have a lot to plan on those days, but I do want to write in this every day. So sometimes I've had to backfill a bit, but it's up to date now and ready to enter another month. Then we have my project journal. I haven't really used this much for the past month. I mostly use this, and that's exactly what it was intended for. I use this at the beginning of the week to see, okay, how far am I in my current project? So that I can sort of schedule in some tasks to keep on progressing. It doesn't have to be much. I just want there to be movement, and for my project to not stagnate or to sort of fall into oblivion. Just a little bit of progress each week is enough to keep the project alive. But then we get to these two, and these two are the core of my system right now. So I've been writing my take a note almost every day. Not every day, it's not perfect. It doesn't have to be as much as I would like it to be, but there's no point in stressing too much over backfilling. The first page here, which is sort of a tracker for the entire year with 2 boxes. I'm using that to track with which pen I've done my journaling for the day, or more which ink, because there's not really any room to write in which pen it is. So just color it in with the ink that I've been journaling with. So far, not the most colorful spread. I don't know if I'll be doing it the same way next year. I think it might actually be more fun to track which ink I've been using in my 5-year TED show, because I tend to not use the same ink 2 days in a row in my 5-year TED show. So it's a lot more colorful, whereas in this planner, I tend to stick to 1 or 2 inks for the entire week in order to make the spreads look a little bit more cohesive and not too busy. So yeah, we'll see what I do next year. I do plan on getting the take a note for next year because I've been loving it. It's great. I started backfilling. Still have to do 4 more months. I like having all of the trackers in here. I do not intend on backfilling any journaling. That is way too much work, but the trackers isn't too bad. I started doing it coloring this in with a gray fine liner and making these little boxes with the Hobonichi stencil. And I do not like that. One, because the ink smudges too easily. I don't really know why. I'm using the Bigma Micron for this, and my black Micron never smudges, but somehow the gray one does. Like it takes longer to dry, and I don't really understand the physics behind that, but it's been a bit annoying. And also because it's not black, you see sort of where the ink pools. Well, is it ink? Is there ink in a marker? Do you call that ink? I don't know. Well, whatever it is that you put on the paper, it pools and makes some areas look darker, and it just looks a bit messy. Plus, it was taking way too long. It was going so slowly. So I decided to just start doing my, I don't know, 5 diagonal stripes thing that I've been using to mark boxes for ages. And I don't know, like I have not come up with that idea myself. I must have been inspired by someone, and I cannot for the life of me remember who I first saw, where I first saw that. I've been doing it for as long as I can remember, but it was definitely not my idea. But it's just a very quick way to sort of fill up the box without it looking too dark and busy, because there's still some white space in between. I kind of like that. So I started doing that. And I mean, the same switch here. So it doesn't look... This is one of the things that I'm really working on this year, not being bothered too much by the change in how I'm doing this. I could totally force myself to continue doing it, like coloring in the entire box for the rest of the year, just for the sake of having used the same method for the entire year. I can totally do that, but it will not make me happy. So whereas not having a perfect spread also is kind of annoying, I still decided to switch up the method because this is so much quicker and so much more fun to just, jot down some lines and have my trackers filled in for the rest of the month. For the past week, I've been doing the bare minimum in terms of daily stuff. I've barely been playing the piano, singing, reading. You would say that when you have time off, you have more time for those things. But I tend to be better at incorporating those things into a daily routine than I am at actually allocating time for that when I have the entire day off, because I tend to fill that time with stuff that I normally don't do, like such as the little adventures that we've been going on. We've been visiting Germany a lot. We live very close to the German border. I live in the Netherlands, so depending on where you live, Germany is never too far away, but we live 5 miles from the German border. So it's a really easy way to feel like you're on holiday. You just drive for 30 minutes, or you just one day we did it by bike, and we just cycled for an hour. We were in the cutest little village. We were in a totally different landscape, surrounded by different language. That's the perfect way to feel like you're on holiday, even though it was just like a little day trip, which is something that I've always considered really special. Anyway, tangent number 1, where was I? Oh yeah, so yeah, I tend to not really make time for a lot of these things that I track when I have time off. So that's not really a big problem. I'll get back on track next week. Hopefully, because, new job, so routines are changing. But we'll just have to see how it goes. And then we have the monthly page. This is August, all set up and ready to use. But this is July, the first month that I've completed in this planner. Looks quite nice. Lots of green and yellow days. So that is a good thing, because the green days are a sort of peaceful, relaxed mood, and yellow is like excited and full of energy or productive. So just a couple of stressed days or moments, and one day where I was just very tired. But that's also okay. I stopped tracking my productive hours, or sort of my focused hours, Mostly because I kept forgetting to actually track them and I had to make an estimate. And there's not really much purpose in that. Like, it doesn't really serve a purpose when I'm just sort of guessing. At some point, I was like, this does not contribute anything. So I'm just going to stop doing that and just track my sleep hours, because I do actually find that interesting to look at. So yeah, I've also been tracking like the minimum temperature for the day, the maximum temperature, and the precipitation, which I found surprisingly fun to track. And it's been really nice just seeing, oh, when did it last rain, or seeing differences in how hot or cool the nights have been, and trying to see, oh, I slept really well. Maybe that was because it was really cold, and like I like it when our bedroom is more cold, and it's not like a hot, damp summer's night. So yeah, that's been fun. Might not do that like forever, but definitely going to continue tracking like weather statistics for the next month. And then we get into the daily portion, or like weekly portion, however you want to look at it, for this month. I've been tracking the my media consumption in the sort of small horizontal weekly part of the spread, and then just journaling every day. Missed a day here, no big deal. Let's see. I've been alternating to ink colors, which have been really fun. I've coordinated them with the stickers, so it looks cohesive, and we like a cohesive spread sometimes. Let's see, I've been revisiting some old like symphonic metal music that I used to listen to a lot when I was younger. I mean, I still listen to symphonic metal music a lot, but these albums I hadn't listened to in ages. Really fun. I've started A Court of Thorns and Roses. I just want to know what the hype is about, you know. Haven't really been making a lot of progress because I prefer reading on the train, because on the train I usually have nothing better to do, so it's really easy to focus on reading. But I haven't been using the train a lot, so that will totally change next week, because I'll be taking the train to work 3 times a week. Let's see, my partner and I started a new anime called Insomniacs After School, which is pretty interesting so far. Some more journaling. Some shorter journaling bits for this week, but I didn't miss any days, so that's nice. More of a darker green and brown theme for this week. I did miss like 1.5 days here. It's fine. No big deal. I really wanted to backfill this at first, but then I forgot that I still needed to do that, and I cleaned out the pen to ink it up with something else. So I was like, okay, I don't have anything inked up with this ink now. Let's just forget about this page. This is last week. Some really, really lovely stickers from London Gifties to jars with a nighttime sea and cityscape. Really lovely. Yeah, filled up. I did do some writing for every day, but I didn't fill the entire column for each day. There have also been quite some days where I didn't read or watch or listen to anything specific. I think for this week, I haven't listened to or watched or read anything yet. So apparently that is mostly something I do in like regular working weeks. Whereas I thought that maybe, we would watch a couple films or something like that, but we haven't apparently. That's fine. This column doesn't need to be filled. It's just a log of what actually happened. I didn't journal on Wednesday. I might actually try and backfill that because it's still this week. That's sort of my soft rule. If it's still the same week, I can backfill. And if it's like last week or the week before, I'll just leave it blank. Use some like adventure holiday stickers. I think these are from Journal Say. I've been playing around with the sticker placement and just writing around the stickers because I like how that looks. And I hope that the book doesn't bulk up too much if I just keep on spacing them on different parts of the page. So yeah, it is currently the 2nd of August, the Friday. And I've been really liking using this. So it's been a great month for journaling. I have written so much more than last month, which I could also see when looking at the ink levels in my fountain pens. Last month, I had so many pens left over, but in July, I finished most of the fountain pens, or like I've written most of them dry or almost dry. So that's a really big change and something that I'm really happy about. Because June was not really a good month planner-wise, and I was kind of afraid of falling off halfway through the year. But it seems like everything is back on track, and a little planner change was maybe all that was needed. Or maybe it was just, in my head. But yeah, July was a good month. It was also a bit of a chaotic month because I was doing job interviews, and then all of the things that go hand in hand with starting a new job. And I don't know, it's big. It's a month of change, as will be next month. And change can be good. Change is important. But I am not someone who actively seeks out change. I like it when things are predictable. I like it when things are more or less the same. So starting a new job is, in that aspect, a bit, well, I wouldn't say scary, but it's an interesting experience. Let's put it at that. And I cannot wait for like when, I don't know, 3 months have passed and it'll start to feel like I don't remember a time where I was not working here, and everything is starting to become more of a routine. Because I think I just do best in those scenarios. And then we have the Hobonichi Weeks that I recently rediscovered and started using again. This is the one that I used to use as a media journal. And I'm really, really liking this so far. This was the month of July. In the monthly page, some super simple decoration, just one strip of washi tape at the bottom. There's not much room for anything more anyway, so I've been writing everything that I need to keep track of in the calendar boxes, whether that is, which bin will be collected on Monday, which is like bin collection day. When my partner is going into the office, I'll be tracking when I have to go into the office, social things that we have planned, some other like household chores that I have to remember, just dumping everything in here. And it's not really an easy overview that way. You don't see, looking at it just once, you don't see immediately how the week is going to look or how the month looks. However, it does really help me when I am planning the week to just look at that one row of boxes and see, okay, this is what I have to write down for for each day, and then plan the rest of the week. This is August, all set up, looking nice. And I've also already sort of decorated September because I felt like doing so. And I love both of these tapes. I think I got both of these from my sister. And they're perfect. Especially, like, this one is so fun with the little light bulbs. And this is actually sort of kiss cut. You can't really see that on this paper, but it's sort of a kiss cut washi with stacks of books. And then we go into the weeks. apparently I've been using it on the wrong... This was sort of a test page. I just tried, and before jumping back into this planner, I was just doing a little test run of spacing and if I was actually going to be able to fit everything in here. I decided that 3 columns was a bit too much, so I changed that to 2. And then I started actually getting into the planner, but it wasn't until 2 weeks later that I discovered that I used the wrong pages and the wrong dates, apparently. But this was the first week that I've used it. I think I've already shown this one. This was the week after. This was when I discovered that this was supposed to be the week of the 22nd of July and not the 15th, which I discovered because the 22nd of July is one of our cat's birthday. I was like, wait a minute, that's not the 15th. Use these washi stickers that I've had for ages, at least 5+ years. I think I got them from AliExpress. These are just photo stickers. And I love that they have this sort of summery feel to them. Left this week blank in order to correct the, to start planning and actually in the right week. So that is this week. Very, very simple decoration again. I don't want to put too much time into decorating this planner. Just used 2 simple stickers and this strip of lovely washi tape from the washi tape shop. If you are browsing the washi tape shop and are thinking, I wish I could get 10% off my order, you can with the code RealOnPaper10. So do keep that in mind. Just a different color palette each week, something super simple, and we're ready to go. Not much planned this week because it was still the week off, so very easy week, just some random stuff that I need to remember, but nothing too crazy. And then it's time to set up next week, which will be a lot more hectic, but also kind of like that because a hectic week means a full planner spread, and I just like how that looks. So that is a positive to a busy and hectic week. And then in the back, I've been using this for daily to-do lists. Let's see, I started, I think, on this page. Just a header for the day. I write down as much as I want, and then a header for the next day. So this can be as long or as short as it needs to be. Do not like this photo that I stuck in, as in I like the photo, but I don't think it goes well with this paper and this setup, I suppose. So for this week, I changed to just 2 very simple stickers. Made a super simple August sort of introduction page, hello August page, and then started the to-do list for today. Really, really liking this. It's super easy, very low barrier of entry right now. And I feel like that is what I was needing. I think that was kind of what this planner change was supposed to bring me, was a system that is simpler. And I love decorative pages. I love elaborate weekly spreads. But I don't always have the time for that. And I would rather have a planner that is completely full with very simple spreads than a planner that has some very nice, very elaborate spreads and then a ton of empty pages and unused spreads, or pages that are filled with just a couple of things but that have a lot of empty space, because that just makes me sad. And I hope I'm not alone in that. Anyway, I have been rambling for 24 minutes again. I hope you enjoyed this little planner update. I'm definitely looking forward to keep on using this system. And I think in one of the next videos, I'll dive a bit more in depth into setting up one of these spreads and showing you how I use it exactly on a day-to-day basis. And I think that's all for today. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.